All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's Harmless Dave here, the Real Music Observer, doing what I do, which is observing real music in real time for real people, just like you right there, just like me right here. I hear a lot about, Fleetwood Mac. They're all about change. This is the way this whole Lindsay takedown has been presented to just the ordinary public who are consuming the information and just, going with it and giving their thumbs up. And I want to present the facts, okay? The facts really are that, the band had some periods of trying to find themselves in the early days. They had guys dropping out and so forth. But the band was rather consistent from 1975 until 1988 or so, 89. I don't know where there was when Lindsay decided he wasn't going to tour because he had given his music away to the band. And clearly there was tension between Buckingham and Nicks, and I think that's why Lindsay was probably reluctant to go back into that. And as he's said in an interview or two, that dealing with one another each day never gives you the space to kind of deal with those emotions that you have for that person. So that was kind of rough. But really, let's be honest, the band's most fertile period was between 1975 and about 1988. Okay, from the White Fleetwood Mac album to Tango in the Night. And then, Behind the Mask, I think, was a nice attempt. They tried like hell to try to make that production sound like something that Lindsay would do, but it was flat compared to the kinetic energy that Lindsay brings to a production. But all these people, well, Fleetwood Mac's always been about change. Yeah, but that's kind of like saying that change has made them who they are. It's not. It's not what made them who they are. Change is what's destroyed the band. It's made them, not the same band that they were when that lineup was all present. I mean, nobody's going to say like the Rick Vito version of Fleetwood Mac was better than the Lindsey Buckingham. Or most people have no idea that Dave Mason was in Fleetwood Mac for the album that came out after Behind the Mask. Nobody's going to tell you that Christine McVie's absence was good for the band. And yes, they did create one very good album without her. But it's been about that Rumors lineup as far as creativity, interest, really carrying the legacy. I mean, after a while, you can't keep changing it up. You change it up because maybe a member passes away. The Eagles did that with Glenn Frey, and they said they weren't going to go on, but they found a very good replacement in his son, Deacon Frey. So for me, that was okay, because I'm looking at a situation where, well, they want to continue. Now, a lot of fans would say they should have just hung it up on that, because you can't really continue without Glenn Frey. And I understand that argument. That's a really powerful argument. And for some fans, you just can't insert Vince Gill into their lineup and say, hey, it's the Eagles. I get that. But at least, they had Lindsey Buckingham was fired for no reason. It's a big difference from someone dying, But all the critics out there writing these articles saying, oh, well, the band has always been about change, but that the change doesn't make them better. The change doesn't really define a good sound or good music. It doesn't. Quite frankly, quite honestly, it's the other way around. The consistency that they had as a band made them a better band. The cohesion made them better. Not all of this craziness. Now, the emotional craziness that happened around Rumors, again, they stuck it out. They made music. They harnessed that emotion and energy and created powerful music. But the leader of this whole movement inside the band was Lindsey Buckingham. When these guys were without ideas, who do they turn to for Tango in the Night? I mean, there was a lot of substance abuse going on by one member in particular in the 1980s, and she talks about it, frankly. When it came time to write new music and so forth, yeah, they had a song or two. They had a couple of good songs. But Lindsay had a whole bunch of stuff ready to go and was planning on a solo album, and again, it turned into a Fleetwood Mac album, much like the Buckingham McVie album, much like some of the material on Say You Will. All of that stuff was, Lindsay accumulating music and then saying, okay, we'll incorporate Stevie, and when Christine is around, we'll incorporate her later on, and Buckingham McVie, which again should have been a Fleetwood Mac album. But again, this is just going out to all those critics and lazy journalists who just write these things. First paragraph, Fleetwood Mac has always been about change. Yeah, but that doesn't make it better. It doesn't make it good. It's not, change has not been a friend to Fleetwood Mac. Consistency has been their ally. All right, so I'm done ranting on this video. If you disagree, fine. I get it. This story it's writing itself. It'll write itself in the history books when people look back and they look between 1975 and 1988 and they see that this is the best time for Fleetwood Mac, and it was the consistent lineup that made it so. All right, done. See you soon.